Hey, my friends. Hey, my friends. It's good to see you again once again on the Talk Morning Show. And I'm going to be sharing something with you today that a lot of us are afraid to step out into the world of leadership. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. The fact that leadership ain't for wimps, the realities and the strength of leadership, leading with strength. Okay, my friends. So we're going to spin on out of the music right there. That is, of course, one of Elvis Presley's songs from his movie Spin Out, and I love to use that as a theme song. It's a great one. I've got a couple of one actually that are Elvis uh, tracks, but so that's a great one. I like to start that one off with. So anyway, hey, it's good to see you again. It's been a minute, and we've had a lot of things going on in our world that's kept us very busy between traveling and my studio down here, which I've got a backdrop right now, temporary backdrop. But we've been working on the studio, which is also my recreation area, and this is my workspace, my office space. So we've been doing some work because we had a flood, and in that flood, destroyed the. We had a sump pump that's connected to the studio, and the sump pump didn't work. And we had a massive heavy rain one day, and it was just a mess. And we had about 4 inches of water. So everything had to come out. And we finally, and that was June. That was back in June that happened. And we were able to finally get it done and completed. The only thing we have left is some carpet on the stairs. And there's only like 6 steps really on that. And so they'll be coming by today or Monday. Not sure which. And take care of that. But here I am. We've been very busy doing some things, and it's great to be back with you. I had a thought. One of the things, if you look on my LinkedIn profile, under there you'll see the subtitle where I talk about leadership ain't for wimps. And I thought what I would do is I'd kind of talk about that a little bit and explain to you why leadership is not for wimps, or like I like to say in the South, ain't. It ain't for wimps. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about that, and I'm excited to have you with me. So we are live with this video podcast right now on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. Our YouTube channel is the J Goff Show, so definitely go over there and like that page. And if you're not familiar with the JKG Consultants Facebook page, go over there and like that page too, because I had to start a whole new page. Once my profile page got hacked, and hijacked, essentially, I could not get into the other one. So I had to start that one all over again. And so glad to be back up there. But I need more followers on that to go live. And this was originally set to go live on that page. But then Facebook says, no, you got to have at least 100 followers on your pages to go live. So if you haven't already, hop over, look in the search bar, JKG Consultants. Okay. And that'll take you over to that Facebook page, like it, and then I can add that to these, because as it stands, what's going to happen is I'm going to end up sharing this YouTube channel, which is a great thing, over to that page for people that are already over there. So, but that's where we're at right now. And so it's great to have you on with me. Add a comment. If you're watching, let me know where you're watching from. And let me know how you're doing today. What are you doing for work? Where do you work at? That's what I'd like to know as well. All right. So usually, everything I do is unscripted. So far, I have been unscripted. But I wrote this out because I wanted it to be something that I did not miss a point on. And I don't go into incredible detail because I can do that during a coaching program or presentation or training. But I want to talk about why leadership ain't for wimps, okay? The realities of leading with strength. And so I did take some notes. So if it sounds scripted, I do apologize for that. But I do say upfront with you in all transparency, it is something I wrote out. It is something I'm actually going to be including in greater detail in my book. But I thought I'd come on and talk to you about that. Many people are aspiring leaders. They want to become leaders, but they don't realize the challenge has come with it. And so we're going to touch on some of that today. So if you will, let's get started. All right. So, and make sure to post your comments as your thoughts come along. Leadership is often romanticized as a noble pursuit filled with visions of inspiring speeches, groundbreaking innovations, and harmonious teamwork. However, the reality of leadership is considerably more complex and demanding. It requires a unique blend of resilience, courage, and fortitude that not everyone possesses. This program explores why leadership ain't for wimps and delves into the traits and the challenges that define effective leaders. Now, I know that the word ain't, okay, is not acceptable. Okay, it's not an acceptable word in formal conversations and communication. I get that, okay? But using today's more sophisticated and educated circles, if you will. But I ain't concerned with that at this point because I believe that leadership should be approached authentically and sometimes unpolished. So today, I want to share with you why I believe that leadership ain't for wimps while looking at the character and challenges of what affects a person who calls themselves a leader. And in this way, you can decide if you truly want to be a leader or if you should be in a supportive role and a follower, to which there is no shame in being a follower. After all, without followers, there can be no leaders. Am I right? So the first challenge and obstacle that we have to face as a leader is the weight of responsibility that comes with being a leader. One of the most daunting aspects of leadership is the weight of responsibility that comes with the role. Leaders are tasked with making decisions that impact not only their teams, but also the broader organization. And this responsibility can be overwhelming, especially when faced with high stakes, tight deadlines, and varying expectations from stakeholders. A powerful quote that encapsulates the weight of responsibility in leadership comes from the wonderful Winston Churchill, the Prime Minister of England. The price of greatness is responsibility. I'm going to repeat that one more time. The price of greatness is responsibility. You must know, understand, and accept your responsibility as a leader. As a leader. Okay. So that was by Winston Churchill. This quote, what Winston was saying, it emphasizes that true leadership involves significant accountability and the willingness to bear the burdens that come with the role. A true leader must be able to shoulder this burden, making tough choices even when they're unpopular or difficult. And they will be unpopular and difficult. I can promise you that. Okay, the second challenge of leadership is navigating conflict and criticism. This is one of the things that is a challenge for some. This is what you have to face as a leader. Conflict is an inevitable part of any organization. And leaders often find themselves at the center of that conflict and criticism. I mean, think about it. Some of this is off the cuff here too, as well. So think about that. As a leader, you hear the whines, the moans, the bitches, the groans. Okay, you're going to hear people complain. It's the nature of the position. Because people are not going to be happy because you're going to disrupt their lives by asking them to do things they may not normally do. Asking them to do things that may be challenging to meet a deadline. Asking them to do things when there are last minute changes comes down from your higher ups that you've got to encourage and enforce. Are you ready to do that as an aspiring leader? Are you willing and ready to say, look, guys, here's the challenge. Here's what we got to take. And I take responsibility. I've seen too many leaders that will pass on the information from up top and they'll buddy up with their team members while trash talking the leadership. Well, you can be that trust factor, that connector between your people and the higher leadership, the higher echelon of leadership. If you're trash talking them, you're not helping the leaders up here to build a reputation and a rapport with the team members. People need to understand. And you as a leader, cannot pass on your responsibilities in making the vision of the grander vision of the organization successful. So you're going to be facing some conflict and criticism from both upper management and the people you lead. Hope you're ready for it. So conflict is an inevitable part of any organization, and leaders often find themselves at the center of it. Whether it's mediating disputes between team members, and that happens a lot, addressing performance issues, or managing external criticism, a leader must confront problems head on. You cannot just let it go. You cannot think, well, it'll just blow over, or it's just that time that, a busy time of the year. You can't just let that blow over. You have to address it head on. If you don't, you will have to clean it up even more. Think about it. You go down a store aisle. Your kid knocks, somebody knocks over a jar of pickles. One jar, few pickles, can stink the whole place up if you don't take care of it immediately. But then it comes along, and what happens, the same kid comes along the aisle and says, well, nobody can clean that up. I think I can get away with doing more. I'll knock more pickles off the shelves. Now you've got a bigger mess. Now you've got to shut down everything and clean this mess up because the place smells like pickles. Well, that's the way it is in your organization. If somebody busts a jar of pickles on the floor, you've got to clean it up now. You've got to hit it head on. Otherwise, you're going to have more busted jar pickles. Jars of pickles, pickle jars. That's why you got to meet it head on. Don't brush it off. Don't pass it on. If you let anything go, people believe that they can get by with it the next time and the next time. And then when you do go to say something as a leader, when you do finally say, I reached my limit, never let it get to this point. When it happens, address it. Because if you don't address it immediately and you address it later, what happens? Well, you never said anything about it before. Come on, guys. You've heard that before. Matter of fact, some of you may have said that before when you were as a follower and not in a leadership position. Well, you never said anything about that before, so we just thought it was okay. That's on you, leader. That's on you. Passive leadership. You got to be an active leader, not just a passive leader. Okay. You have to be proactive. Okay. So you are going to have to face these problems head on. This requires not only assertiveness, but also emotional intelligence to navigate the feelings and perspectives of others. EQ is huge. Matter of fact, you may hear more of that of recent years when we're focusing on developing leaders, is emotional intelligence. Okay. So leaders who shy away from conflict or criticism may find themselves ill-equipped to handle the challenges that arise, leading to a breakdown in trust and morale. Okay. You set the climate of your organization. If you don't if you don't face conflict and criticism head on, okay, it will break your organization down. It will break your teams down. You will lose credibility as a leader, and you will not gain the trust and respect of your team members. And without that, your organization cannot be as successful as it should be. Okay. Third thing, the need for vision and strategy is another challenge that leaders face. That's not easy, but there is a great need for vision and strategy in leadership. Warren Bennis said something like this. He said, leadership is a capacity to translate vision into reality. It's not just about having a vision. It's about making it happen. Making it happen. On the wonderful, beautiful, incredible, gorgeous team that I'm a member of, that I get to be a part of, with the John Maxwell leadership team. John Maxwell is an incredible visionary. Incredible visionary. He sees things. He sees things before. He sees them further out. He sees how things that could stem into the circumstances that they can create. He's an incredible visionary. But he's also an incredible creative, which means, like me, sometimes you can be creating so much that you don't construct. Okay, there are the creatives and there's the constructors. Well, that's why you have sometimes people that are also leaders to become the ones who construct it, create out of a vision something that's tangible. So John has his man, Mark Cole. Mark Cole's president and CEO of all of John's companies, an incredible leader. Incredible leader. When we talk leadership, Mark Cole is at the top of the list for me. There's John Maxwell, but he raised up a great leader in Mark Cole. And Mark Cole is the one who puts things into action. So as a leader, you've got to be able to translate the vision, as Mark Cole does with John's vision, into reality. It's not just about vision, it's about making it happen. So effective leaders must possess a clear vision for their organization and the ability to communicate that vision persuasively. This involves strategic thinking, foresight, and the capability to inspire others to rally around a common goal. Leaders need to be proactive, anticipating potential challenges and adapting their strategies accordingly. This kind of foresight demands mental toughness and the willingness to take calculated risks, qualities that require more than just a passive approach to leadership. Remember, I talked about passive leadership versus active leadership. So the fourth thing is building and maintaining trust. This is another challenge that comes with leadership, building and maintaining trust with your team members. Trust is the cornerstone of effective leadership. The leaders must earn the trust of their teams. You cannot demand the trust of your teams, but you should expect and earn trust from your team, which is built on consistency, transparency, and ethical behaviors. However, maintaining that trust, once you gain it, now you've got to maintain it. But maintaining that trust can be challenging, especially during times of change or uncertainty, like I mentioned earlier. Leaders must be authentic and approachable, demonstrating vulnerability while also projecting strength. This is where leaders get to exercise transparency as well as toughness. Transparency as well as toughness. You want to be clear. You want to be transparent with your team members, with your organization. And I'm going to tell you one of the reasons why you want to let your team members in on some of the operations and some of the plans and projections, because you may hold the position and bear the responsibility for the direction of the organization, but you don't hold the genius as all of you collectively do. And that's why when you share the information, what the mission is, if you will, of the organization, what the mission at hand may be to support the greater mission, when you share the information with your team members, they will come up with solutions. When you've built that trust and that communication with your team members, they will help to build the vision and to build the plan, the action plans. I've seen it time and time again in my 26 years of military service. When you're transparent with your team members and you say, we got a challenge, what do? Boom, the brains start kicking in and geniuses emerge. It may not be the best plan, but it's the best of the plans you have. And if it doesn't work out, then you go with the next best plan. And you always have more than one solution to every situation, more than one solution. I recommend at least three solutions to every opportunity. So leaders must be authentic and approachable, demonstrating vulnerability while also projecting that strength. This delicate balance can be difficult to achieve, and it requires resilience and a deep understanding of human dynamics. Folks, if you're in a leadership position, you got to remember, you're not just in it as a leader, in a position rather. You're not in it just for the position. You're in it for the progress and for the people. You got to understand your people. Without understanding human dynamics, you're going to lead in one style, and it's your style. And your style is not going to connect with everybody. That's why you have to understand human dynamics. You have to understand their personalities, communication, connecting styles. How do I connect? Trust is a character trait of integrity that once compromised, it is often irreparable and irretrievable. I always say that integrity is the cornerstone to character. As a leader, you'll always start your trust scale at a level 0 with your people. But you must loan trust to your team members starting at a level 10. And you have to show them how to gain the 10, regain the 10, and maintain that level. And eventually you'll earn trust from your team members. Okay. And I call them team members. I call them partners. I don't call them employees. Okay. Employees don't feel appreciated. And usually they're not. Employees don't appreciate the organization as well as they could if they had a vested interest other than a paycheck. That's why you want to develop a culture, an environment of team members and partners of the organization, because without them, you have nobody to lead. And without them, you won't be able to add value to the organization. It's like we're having a connection issue. Come on. Okay. We are having some technical issues. I don't know if I'm coming through or not. Hopefully I am. Looks like Facebook is playing their games again. So bear with me just for a few moments as we try to handle this. Handle this while we're live. Okay, folks. All right, so we've got some Facebook issues, go figure. So what I'm going to do at this point is I am going to end this at this level. Actually, let me finish this up on this trust aspect. My dear friend and author John Fleck asserted in his book, The Trust Principle, that trust is the deep-rooted foundation of the tree, anchoring everything in place. Relationships are the fruit that flourish from its strength. As a leader, always make sure to tend to the roots. And that's from my friend John Fleck's book, The Trust Principle, which will be coming out very soon. I've read it, and it's a great book. All right, my friends. So I'm going to end it on that. We have more to discuss on this, and we're going to find out what's going on over at Facebook and see. Apparently, this something's going on over there that apparently I got blocked on Facebook again. I don't know what the heck is going on, but I have this on my YouTube channel, and we'll be able to determine, hey, look, what was going on. So I did share this on my YouTube channel and LinkedIn as well. All right, my friends, God bless you. Leave me some comments down below. Let me know if you're learning anything from this, what you'd like to learn more from, and looking forward to spending more time with you in the next episode. And we're going to jump back into this topic because we have some more points we want to make. So this will be a series. And because leadership ain't for wimps, and it's a very serious topic that I think is going to benefit you in ways of understanding. If you are an aspiring leader, this is what you got to look forward to. And if you are already a leader, okay, then you understand this, and this will give you some insight as well and perspective, and maybe some things to focus on and what to work on. All right, my friends. So that being said, let's go on down here. All right, we're going. Remember, it's time for you to get up, get out, get at it. Because the world needs what you have, my friend. All right, until next time, I'll see you.